Welcome to the Prescott Lab Podcast. Not just theory, practical science for everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a physician and integrative medicine researcher at the Ravenshade Institute for Human Health. If you're a man over 60 or care about a man who is, I want to welcome you to a conversation that matters. They say decline is part of aging. That low energy, weaker erections, fading desire are just something to accept. But I've seen too much to believe that. And I don't think you should either. Because what if your body still remembers how to be strong? What if one small choice each morning could start the healing process from the inside out? Today I'll walk you through 6 natural drinks. Each one is clinically backed. Each one designed to restore circulation, support testosterone, and help rebuild erectile function in men over 60. No gimmicks, no false promises. Just real results I've witnessed in real men day after day. But before we begin, let me offer you something simple. If you believe in the power of natural healing, in the idea that age doesn't mean giving up, go ahead and click the like button. It sounds small, but I've seen it over and over again. That one little action often marks the beginning of a shift. A man decides to support his health and suddenly things begin to move. Better mornings, clearer thinking. More control over his body. And if you're feeling hopeful, drop a comment below with just one word. You can write ready if you feel inspired, or still curious if you're not quite there yet. Either way, I read every message. And I shape this podcast with you in mind, so let's begin. The first drink isn't flashy, it's not trendy, but it might just be the most powerful tool nature gave us for blood flow and performance. Let's talk about beetroot juice. 1. Beetroot juice, restoring blood flow where it matters most. Let me take you back to a quiet Tuesday morning. Peter was 67, a retired Navy mechanic, the kind of man who could fix anything except lately himself. He sat across from me, hands folded, and quietly said, "Doc, I still feel like a man, but my body doesn't seem to remember." That sentence carried decades of quiet loss, not just physical but emotional. A slow fading of identity, and what Peter didn't know yet was that his recovery wouldn't begin in a pill bottle. It started with a single glass of beetroot juice. Beets are rich in natural nitrates. Your body turns them into nitric oxide, a molecule that tells blood vessels to relax and open up. When that happens, oxygen-rich blood flows more freely to where you need it most, especially during arousal. It's the same pathway that drugs like Viagra rely on, but beetroot works naturally, gently, without side effects. A study in the Journal of Hypertension showed that daily beetroot juice improved vascular function and blood pressure. And in my practice, I've seen men regain their morning erections in as little as 5 days. Because circulation isn't just about sex. It fuels your energy, your clarity, your presence. It's the signal that says, your body is still very much alive. Beetroot juice also delivers folate and antioxidants that help repair blood vessel walls and reduce inflammation. I usually recommend 1 8-ounce glass first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Add a squeeze of lemon if the flavor feels too earthy. When Peter came back 3 weeks later, he looked different, brighter, more grounded. He leaned in, smiled, and said, "Doc, I had a dream last night. I woke up hard. It felt like I was back in my body again." That's what blood flow does. It brings you home to yourself. And if you're listening right now and thinking, could this really help me? Don't keep that thought to yourself. Leave a comment below, just one word. Hopeful, if this gives you a sense of possibility. Cautious, if you're still unsure. I read every message because this podcast is more than information. It's a conversation with you, with every man who refuses to accept decline as destiny. And now, let's keep going. The next drink is humble, green, and often dismissed. But inside, it holds the power to calm your stress hormones and restore your arteries. The very roots of your masculine performance. You'll want to hear this one. 2. Celery juice, easing arteries, easing pressure. A few days ago, under one of our recent episodes, I saw a comment from a man named James. He wrote, "Doc, I get the science, but celery, really? That stuff barely feeds rabbits." Right underneath it, another man's Will chimed in. "I've tried everything short of surgery. If celery juice is all it takes, I'll drink a gallon." I had to smile. Because if there's one drink that gets the most eye rolls and underestimation, it's celery juice. And yet, it's one of the most powerful tools I've seen for men over 60, especially those struggling with fatigue, poor erections, and the quiet rise of daily stress. See, celery is loaded with natural compounds called phthalides. These help relax the smooth muscles around your artery walls, reducing tension and improving circulation. It's like gently opening the pipes that have slowly narrowed over decades. More relaxed arteries mean better blood flow. Not just to your heart, but to the very place you hope it gets to when the time is right. But what truly makes celery juice a game changer isn't just blood flow, it's what it does to your hormones. After 60, most men don't realize how much cortisol, the body's stress hormone, is quietly stealing from them. As cortisol rises, testosterone falls. It's a biological tug-of-war, one that slowly erodes energy, desire, and confidence. Celery juice helps shift that balance. Naturally, it's been shown to lower cortisol and support testosterone levels, not by pushing or forcing, but by restoring calm to the system. And when a man's stress softens, something remarkable happens. His body begins to remember how to feel again, not just physically but emotionally. Present, capable. I remember one of my patients, Harold, 74, widowed. He told me, "Doc, I'm not looking to impress anyone. I just want to feel like I still live in a body that works." I had him start with 8 ounces of fresh celery juice every morning. 2 weeks later, he walked in, looked me in the eye, and said, "It's not fireworks, but something's changing. I feel calmer. And down there, I'm not dead, there's life again." That something, he felt, was his system coming back online. Celery juice may not look heroic, but in the quiet, steady way it works, I've seen it turn things around. And now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried celery juice? What was your experience, pleasant, surprising, or just plain weird? Let me know in the comments. Even if it's just a short one-liner, I'd love to hear your take. And if this episode has sparked your curiosity, don't forget to follow the channel. Because next up is something rich, red, and bursting with antioxidant power. A fruit most men enjoy for taste, without realizing what it could be doing to their testosterone and tissue repair. You're going to want to pour a glass of this. 3. Pomegranate juice, repairing vessels, protecting testosterone. Let me ask you something. If your heart scan came back clean, your cholesterol looks fine, your numbers are normal on paper, but you still can't get or stay firm, what does that tell you? Most men shrug and say, must be age. But the truth is, age isn't the culprit. Micro damage is. And that's exactly where pomegranate juice steps in. I once had a patient named Charles, 64, a retired engineer, logical thinker. No big health red flags, but intimacy had quietly disappeared from his life. "I feel like my body gave up on me," he told me. But what Charles didn't know, what most men never hear, is that even when your major arteries are clear, the tiny vessels leading to your penis might be inflamed, scarred, or breaking down. That's why pomegranate juice matters. It's rich in a rare antioxidant called punicalagin, a powerful compound that actively repairs the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. That lining is what keeps blood flowing smoothly. When it's damaged, blood can't stay trapped long enough to create a full erection. But when it heals, everything starts working again, gently, steadily, and naturally. In a 2007 study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research, men who drank pomegranate juice daily saw noticeable improvement in erection quality and performance. Not only that, many reported increased sensitivity, better mood, and a deeper sense of emotional connection. And here's the kicker, pomegranate juice doesn't just support blood flow. It also helps defend your testosterone by protecting your testicular tissue from oxidative stress. It's like wearing armor from the inside out, supporting both circulation and hormones in one drink. Charles came back to see me after 3 months. He wasn't trying to brag, but there was peace in his voice. "It's not like I'm 25 again," he said, "but something's coming back. I feel present again. Like I want to reach for her, not because I should, but because I can." That's what healing looks like. Not overnight fireworks, but a steady return to connection, to self, to desire. Now, before we move to the next drink, let me ask you a quick question. What do you think actually matters more for erections after 60, blood flow or testosterone? Drop your vote in the comments. One word is enough. And if you haven't subscribed yet, well, maybe your arteries just need a little nudge too. Go ahead and tap that button. No side effects. Just weekly doses of real science for real men who still want to live fully. Now the next one on our list, it's spicy, it's ancient, and it's been quietly boosting testosterone for centuries. The kind of root that lights a fire not just in your circulation but in your spirit. Let's talk about it. 4. Ginger tea, reigniting testosterone and emotional presence. There's something I want to say directly to you. Because right now maybe you're sitting in your car or walking the dog. Or lying in bed late at night wondering if any of this can really make a difference. And if you are, stay with me. Because this next one isn't just about circulation, it's about reconnection. Ginger tea. Now I know it's not glamorous, it doesn't scream masculinity. But what it does is wake up something deeper. Alan, 66, came to see me last winter. He wasn't angry, he wasn't broken, he was just distant. From his body, from his wife, from himself. "I feel like I'm watching my life from outside the window," he said. That one sentence stuck with me because I've heard it before. And it almost always traces back to a quiet hormonal fade, a drop in testosterone, a rise in inflammation, and a nervous system stuck in idle. That's exactly where ginger comes in. Ginger contains two key compounds, gingerol and shagiol. These act as natural anti-inflammatories and circulation boosters. But more importantly for men over 60, ginger has been shown in multiple studies to stimulate natural testosterone production. A 2012 study published in the International Journal of Reproductive Biomedicine found that ginger significantly increased testosterone levels and improved reproductive function in aging males. But beyond the data, here's what I see. Men who start drinking fresh ginger tea, especially in the morning, report better mood, clearer focus, and a slow, steady return of interest in intimacy. Alan was one of them. He began with a warm cup each day, ginger slices, lemon, a drop of honey. 3 weeks later, he called me. "Doc," he said, "it's not a miracle, but I feel more here, like the fog is lifting." What ginger does isn't flashy. It's not adrenaline, it's presence. It restores rhythm. It reawakens that quiet hum in your system that says, "I'm still alive in here." And if you've made it this far in the episode, I want to ask honestly, what brought you here? Was it curiosity, concern, or something deeper, something you haven't said out loud yet? If you feel safe, share it in the comments, even one line. I promise, there are more men reading than you realize, quietly nodding, thinking, "That's me too." This isn't just a podcast, it's a room, a space to be real. And if you've stayed with me this long, you've already proven something to yourself. You're not giving up. Not today, now take a breath. The next drink is quiet, green, and often ignored. But hidden in its leaves is a mineral most men are silently deficient in, one that could open your arteries and help you stay harder longer. Let's take a look. 5. Spinach smoothie, fueling blood flow with magnesium and nitrates. Robert was 69, a retired firefighter. He walked into my office, calm but direct. "Doc," he said, "I'm not here for pills, I'm here for possibilities." That kind of man always gets my full attention. He wasn't chasing youth. He wasn't expecting miracles. He just wasn't ready to accept that feeling less of himself had to be permanent. And sometimes the answer doesn't come in a capsule. It comes in a glass of green. Spinach, yes, the same leafy green that sat ignored on dinner plates for years, holds one of the most overlooked solutions for aging men, magnesium. Magnesium plays a crucial role in relaxing blood vessels, reducing blood pressure, and increasing overall blood flow. And spinach is one of the richest natural sources on the planet. But that's not all. Spinach also contains dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the same compound we've talked about earlier that helps fuel erections by opening up blood vessels. When you combine these two, magnesium and nitrates, you're giving your circulatory system exactly what it needs to perform, to stabilize, and to stay responsive when it counts. A 2016 study in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension found that nitrate-rich vegetables like spinach significantly improved vascular health, especially in older adults. And vascular health isn't a side detail for erections. It's the foundation. If your blood vessels are tight, inflamed, or undernourished, you can't get or keep blood where it needs to be. But when those vessels are open, elastic, and supported, your body starts responding again. I had Robert start his mornings with a simple spinach smoothie. A handful of raw spinach, a banana for potassium, a splash of almond milk for vitamin E, and a touch of honey for taste. 2 weeks in, he came back smiling. "I feel clearer," he said, "more balanced, and in the bedroom, something waking up again." It wasn't magic, it was biology finally being fed. Spinach doesn't come with flashy promises. But if you give it a place in your morning routine, it will repay you in ways you may not expect: more stable energy, better circulation, and the quiet return of confidence. And now, let's finish strong. The next drink is red, sweet, and delicious, but beneath the flavor, it contains a rare amino acid that opens your arteries just like nitric oxide therapy. Some men feel the difference in days. Let's explore it. 6. Watermelon juice, boosting erections with citrulline. Sometimes nature hides its most powerful answers in plain sight. Take watermelon. Most men think of it as a summertime snack, refreshing, sweet, harmless. But few know it's rich in citrulline, an amino acid that converts into arginine, which your body uses to produce nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, as we've seen again and again, is the key to blood flow. More nitric oxide means wider vessels, better circulation, and stronger, more dependable erections. Walter, 71, was skeptical, a retired engineer, straightforward. When I suggested watermelon juice in the morning, he raised an eyebrow. "Are you serious?" I nodded. 3 weeks later, he came back and said, "It's subtle, but I'm waking up firm again. Not every day, but more than I expected." Well, that's how this works: quietly, steadily, but real. Let me answer a few of the most common questions I get from men. Maybe you've been wondering too. 1. Can I just eat watermelon instead of juicing it? Yes. Eating it fresh is excellent, but juicing concentrates the citrulline and allows for quicker absorption, especially first thing in the morning. 2. How much should I drink? Around 8 to 10 ounces is enough. You don't need more. What matters is showing up for your body every day. 3. Is it safe for diabetics? Watermelon contains natural sugars but has a low glycemic load. In moderation, and when paired with fiber or protein during the day, it's often well tolerated. Still talk to your doctor. 4. Can this replace medications like Viagra? For mild to moderate ED, it may reduce or support the need for medication. But think of it as long-term support, not a one-night solution. 5. How fast does it work? Some men notice a difference within days. For others, it may take 2 to 3 weeks. The key is consistency, not perfection. Walter didn't become a new man overnight, but what he got back was something better: hope. He smiled and said, "Doc, I didn't realize how much I missed waking up like that. It's not just physical. It's emotional. I feel like I'm back in the game." That's what watermelon can offer: hydration, circulation, sensation. A quiet return to feeling fully alive in your body. And the best part, it's easy, it's delicious, and it's waiting for you. Now that you've heard all 6 natural drinks, the next step is simple. How do you put this into practice without turning your mornings into a chemistry lab? Up next, I'll walk you through a 7-day routine. Clear, flexible, realistic. Let's rebuild from the inside out step by step. 7. The 7-day routine, rebuilding from the inside out. You've now heard 6 powerful drinks, each one crafted by nature to support blood flow, hormones, and energy. But hearing is only the beginning. The real question is, how do you begin applying this without turning your mornings into a science lab? If you're like most of my patients, you don't want perfect. You want something doable, steady, something you can start tomorrow with confidence. Here's a simple, flexible 7-day rotation, one that speaks your body's language and respects your time. Day 1. Beetroot juice. Support nitric oxide and circulation. 8 ounces, plain or with lemon, first thing in the morning. Day 2. Celery juice. Relax the arteries, calm the nervous system. Fresh, unsalted 8 ounces. Drink it alone, wait before eating. Day 3. Pomegranate juice. Rebuild vascular tissue and shield testosterone. 6 to 8 ounces of pure juice, ideally mid-morning. Day 4. Ginger tea. Wake up hormone production and inner clarity. Fresh ginger boiled with lemon and honey, sip it slowly. Day 5. Spinach smoothie. Feed your blood vessels magnesium and nitrates. Blend spinach, banana, almond milk, and honey. Keep it simple. Day 6. Watermelon juice. Hydrate deeply, support nitric oxide. 8–10 ounces of chilled juice. Refreshing and effective. Day 7. Your body chooses. Return to the drink that felt best. Let intuition guide the cycle. This routine isn't a miracle. It's a rhythm, a quiet agreement between you and your body. A way to say, I'm listening now. It's also flexible. You can swap days, repeat favorites, or start with just one and build from there. What matters is consistency, not perfection. Many men feel a shift in 2 to 3 weeks, not just in function, but in clarity, mood, and connection. Because when circulation improves, everything does. 1 glass a day. Not to chase youth, but to reclaim presence, strength, and dignity. And now to the man who stayed with me this far, let's finish strong, because how we end often determines how we begin again. 8. Final message. 1 glass, 1 choice, 1 return to self. If you've made it to this point, thank you, not just for watching, not just for listening, but for staying with me and, more importantly, with yourself. Because most men don't, they scroll past, they shrug, they tell themselves it's too late, but you didn't. You stayed through every story, every glass, every hard truth. And that tells me something powerful: you're not done yet. I've spent over 30 years walking beside men who thought their best days were behind them. And again, I've seen something beautiful. That healing doesn't begin with a miracle. It begins with a quiet decision. A glass, a moment. A commitment to say, I want to feel alive again. So if this message meant something to you, I have one small ask. Tap the like button, not for the algorithm, not for me, but as a kind of promise to yourself. A signal that says, I'm still in this. And if you feel called to share this episode with someone, a brother, a friend, a man who's been too quiet for too long. Sometimes a single link carries more hope than 1,000 pep talks. Leave me a comment, tell me which drink you'll start with, or ask me a question. This isn't a monologue, it's a community. I read every word and I respond as often as I can. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep walking this road together, one step, one choice, one morning at a time. You're not broken, you're not behind. You're a man whose body still remembers how to be strong, and who now knows exactly how to begin again. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott. This has been the Prescott Lab Podcast. Until next time, be well, be bold, and never forget, your best self is still within reach.